everybody, this is Perch. Have you ever thought I can write this comic better than the people who are writing it? A lot of people think that. In some ways, that's the origin point to a lot of fan fiction and headcanon stuff and everything else. That's that's kind of unfair, actually. That's taken to extremes in a lot of cases. But it's pretty common if you're a comic reader, a comic customer, that you've read comics and you've had your own ideas that you believe are better. Sometimes they are, sometimes there aren't. A lot of fan fiction gets very myopic about characters. It's, case in point. There is a lot of fan fiction out there around Gambit. Gambit was a popular character, really popular in the 90s and then kind of less so. But it's weird. It's almost like Marvel gave up on Gambit to some extent. Like all the things that made Gambit cool, and in many ways, by the way, I'm proving the point of this entire video right now. Uh, Gambit's kind of the mystery behind him, the roguish nature of Gambit, these kinds of elements. It's not like that personality type, that type of character is old fashioned. I mean, to the contrary, we see movies that are doing things like that all the time. They're popular. A lot of the Fast and the Furious type stuff has a Gambit-like personality with some of those characters. There's going to be both Gambit fans and Fast and the Furious fans who are pissed at what I just said. Anyway, there is that kind of rogue with a heart of gold aspect to him that is pretty evergreen as a character. And in many ways, Marvel seemed to they explained his origin in weird ways that didn't make any sense, and then they seemed to put him on the back burner, and they tried some solo titles that immediately dove into kind of his origin that nobody really wanted. Like people are like, I would like to see Gambit go on heists and do kind of crazy things. And it's like, I know, let's explore his relationship with Rogue and what's going on in New Orleans. It's like, I mean, okay, but regardless, if you've read comics for any length of time, you've had your own ideas. And you may write fan fiction, as I mentioned. They get myopic. The reason I went down the Gambit side rail is that online there are tons of fan fiction stories around Gambit, many of which, by the way, seem to go down an angle where Gambit is gay for whatever reason. It's like if you look at some of the fan fiction sites, and I took a peek before doing this, it's like Gambit and Nightcrawlers, Holy Night. It's like, I don't want to see that. But anyway, a lot of Gambit, like for whatever reason, that's what you got. But the interesting part is that when I did the Captain America, like, can we please just get a new Captain America story? And my frustration with that is just that they keep going to the same plot point with Captain America over and over and over. And it's not like it was a bad story idea. It was a fine enough story idea. It's just, when done for the 40th time, it starts to get old. It starts to get at some point, you're like, we've seen it. We're good. Can we please get anything else? That's the problem. It is. I mean, somebody put a post like, "Hey, can we do a storyline where Iron Man is tempted by drinking, where Batman maybe overplans something and then that exposes a weakness? Can we do something where Superman's trying to find his place amongst humans and aliens, or his alien heritage? Hey, can we have something where Wolverine discovers a shadowy aspect of his past he didn't know exist? Hey, can we have Daredevil start to lose faith in his religion, and it causes a crisis for him, and does he weighing them? I mean, just there's some trope storylines that comics go back to over and over and over, and what it feels like in many cases with the big two is that they're stuck in a repeat cycle around some of these stories. It feels like, and I don't. I mean, I think that it's almost provable that we're stuck in that moment right now with the reboots, with the relaunches, with this kind of obsession from Marvel and DC, but particularly Marvel in this case. They seem to have some insecurity about if their comic is going to last for a long time. So rather than create big storylines, they come in, they do the greatest hits. It's like, hey, let's just kind of regurgitate the best storylines over and over rather than create anything new. And I know that some of the editors, particularly in the Avengers and kind of that line of Marvel, that's kind of those are the pitches they're looking for right now. We want somebody who can come and basically do the greatest hits. Put a slight new spin on it, but not too much of a new spin because we don't want to confuse anybody. So let's just let's go down the list of common things. Hey, the Hulk is an outsider, and what? How do we deal with that? And the challenge is what that's doing is it's creating this atmosphere, this belief from customers that they could write it better. And the truth of it is, they probably could, because the customers are at least doing something new. They are not tethered by the idea of a greatest hits Captain America story. They're willing to do something new. I found it funny when I did that video of can we get a new story. A lot of people emailed me within hours with long, fully formed stories. Like they're no shortage. They had full concepts in their minds, and it kind of spoke to it was easy. It seemed like people just had it ready. They have these stories. They're like, here, and almost all of them were great. I would love to read them. They were better than hearing Captain America worry about what it means to be America for the 800th time. They were good. But what do we do about that? So if people are actually, I mean, first recognizing the problem in this case being that comic companies are nervous about creating new stories, new IP, new ideas. They're edgy about doing it. That's kind of what we're seeing. If the fans are, the one thing I guess I would say is maybe now is the time more than any other time that if you're a customer and you love Captain America and you have a great story about what to do, it's time to create. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's time to create your knockoff Captain America character and just publish your comic, because I will tell you that there is a high interest right now out there in the market to read new things, to not read the same thing over and over and over and over again. They want to read new storylines. And to be clear, look at what's selling really well at Marvel. Donny Cates did some new things with Venom, sold really well. Nick Spencer's doing some new things with Spider-Man. It's selling really well. Even the beginnings of Hoxpox and what Hickman did with the X-Men were new. He was putting some new stuff on the board. The sales have since slid, but again, look at why. Maybe the same story is kind of being told. We've got the X-Men, they're hanging on an island, they're doing just random island things. There's really not a lot of story progression. It feels like decompressed killing time since the original inception of Hoxpox. So I think the lessons are clearly there, that bold takes, different takes, exciting takes, things that do new things. There may be some customers that scream about it, and people go onto social media and say, I can't believe you did this to this character. But by and large, the readers like it. They accept it. I think that the magic balance is do something new, do a new story, do something different, break some boundaries with a character. But remember the personality and the core of the character while you're doing it. Captain America, if you got a Captain America story, none of the fan fiction, the idea that was sent in to me, the storylines that some of the customers had, did this. But you wouldn't give Steve Rogers like a sex addiction where he feels like he's got to go get prostitutes. You wouldn't. That would be stupid. It would be completely out of the core of Cap's character. I don't think that'd be a good storyline in any case, but that would be more something you might want to do for Tony Stark. You could see Tony Stark as a playboy getting addicted to models or something. That would kind of fit, but not Cap. Wouldn't make sense for Cap. So keep to the core of Cap's personality, but put Cap in doing completely different things. Have him. There's just, as long as you remain tethered to the anchor of whoever the character is, you can go out and do whatever you want, and readers will accept that. And I think somehow we've got to convince Marvel and DC to push the boundaries a little bit. Be more comfortable with trying different story ideas. Again, point to the stuff that's selling well. All the titles that are selling really well are doing very original takes on the characters. The stuff that is not selling well, like the Dan Slott Iron Man run, where Tony's battling alcohol, and oh no, he's got some AI technology that's run amok. It doesn't sell well, and why would it? We've seen it a dozen times before. So if you've ever wanted to write a comic, I mean, again, maybe now's the time. Write your storyline that will work perfect for Captain America. Rebrand it, put it out, because there is an audience out there that's desperate for it. My opinion, anyway. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you have great ideas for characters? Is this something you would do? Do you want to write some Gambit / fiction? Is that what you're doing? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.